Short exercise 10-6, we're going to calculate depreciation, but this time we're going to have a change in one of the estimates partway through the life of the asset, and the estimate in this case will be useful life. Assume that Smith's Auto Sales paid $45,000 for equipment with a 15-year life and a zero expected residual value. After using the equipment for 6 years, the company determined that the asset will remain useful for only 5 more years. So what we have to do is we have to calculate the depreciation for the first 6 years before the change in the estimate. So I'm going to calculate straight line depreciation. And why am I doing straight line depreciation? Because it tells us right here we use this straight line depreciation, and we're only going to do it for we're first going to do it for the first 6 years. So before the change in estimate. So since the straight line, the formula is cost minus residual divided by useful life. Cost is $45,000, which I get from here. Residual value is 0, and I get that from here, 0 expected residual value, divided by the useful life, 15 years. So 45,000 divided by 15 years gives us $3,000 of depreciation per year, but that's just for the first 6 years. So let's figure out how much depreciation we have after 6 years. Well, that's simple. Take $3,000 depreciation per year times 6 years gives us accumulated depreciation of $18,000 after 6 years. So the book value after the 6 years, and we need the book value after the 6 years, is, remember, book value is cost minus accumulated depreciation. So the cost is $45,000 minus this $18,000 gives us a book value of $27,000 after 6 years. And then after 6 years we have a change in estimate for the residual, or for the useful life remaining. So now it says requirement 1, record depreciation expense on the equipment for year 7 by the straight line method. Now remember, so for the first 6 years the estimates do not change, but in the 7th year the company determines that the asset will remain useful for only 5 more years. So the formula for revised depreciation is you have to take the book value minus the residual value divided by the remaining useful life, or the revised useful life remaining. So what we're doing is we're taking, well, the maximum that we could depreciate for the rest of the life is the book value. So the book value after 6 years is $27,000. So let me check our answer. So we have to take the book value at the beginning of the 7th year, which is the book value at the end of the first 6 years, so $27,000. That's the most we could depreciate over the rest of the life of the asset, minus residual value, which is still 0, which, remember, I get from up here, divided by the revised useful life remaining. We only think we could use that asset for 5 more years. So we're going to plug in 5. So we're going to take the remaining amount we could depreciate, the book value, $27,000 minus 0, divided by 5, gives us revised depreciation of $5,400 per year for year 7 and beyond. Now it says record the depreciation on the equipment for year 7, record debits first as usual. So we need to increase depreciation expense, and this is equipment. So depreciation expense on the equipment is this $5,400. And accumulated depreciation is going to accumulate, because that's what it does, by the same amount, $5,400, to record depreciation on the equipment. And then the last thing, what is accumulated depreciation at the end of year 7? So remember, years 1 through 6, we had $3,000 of depreciation per year. So for the first 6 years, we had $18,000 depreciation, which I've listed here for requirement 2. And then in year 7, we got this $5,400 depreciation, which I added here. And then we're going to add those two up, and we get a total accumulated depreciation of $23,400. And that's it.